there's a duality that happens with visionaries more often than I would like to admit. That's when you start to win as the visionary. That's when you start to win as the business owner. And that's one of the ways that you can get out of the day-to-day. What is up? All right. So in today's episode of the Project Fortify podcast, we're switching it up a little bit. And we are going to be talking about innovation versus integration, and how innovation can kill integration, and how integration will stifle innovation. Before we jump in, I want to start with a couple of definitions. Alexa, define integration.
Integration is usually defined as an act or instance of combining into an integral whole. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for integration. By the way,
Alexa, stop. It is the act of taking something and placing it into an integral part or an integral whole in the business. Okay? Alexa, define innovation.
Innovation is usually defined as something new or different introduced. For more, ask me to give you more definitions.
Alexa, stop. Innovation is something new or different that is being introduced. Now, the goal of an owner, of a business owner, and of a visionary is to build something and then remove themselves from the day-to-day, at least typically. That's more often than not the goal of a business owner, is to get out of the day-to-day so they can focus on the things that they love. Well, there's a duality that happens with visionaries more often than I would like to admit. Having been the fractional COO in a dozen companies, placing integrators of visionaries on a daily basis like we do now, and troubleshooting companies, one of the biggest things that I have found is there's a duality happening in the visionary. They want to get out of the business. They want to start doing something different. They want to start maybe even doing the things that got them to the place that they're at now, right? Doing the marketing, working with clients, doing the things that they love to do. More often than not, what they don't like to do is they don't like to be the integrator. They don't like being the person that does the things that they want to get done. They have something in their brain. They take what's in their brain and they expect it to be done by their team. They need an integrator to do that. But what's happening is the duality on one end is that you are a visionary and you want to come up with new things, right? You want to be an innovator. You want to be the person that comes up with new ideas and new process and new products and new things that go to market and new ways of operating and new ways of marketing. And you're always thinking of how to do something new, how to innovate. And the fastest way to stop, or like the fastest way to stop growing, or the surefire way to stop growing, is to continually innovate. And I know that might sound counterproductive. It's like, but I have to come up with new things to continue growing, and that's a lie. And so on one end of the duality is you have your innovation. You want to do new things. On the other end of your duality is you want to get out of the day-to-day of the business. You want to get out of doing the minutia, the integrator role, the integrator tasks in the business, but you can't because you're constantly innovating. And so I've worked with visionaries where they will literally come up with something new every other week. And the team, it leaves their team running from one field goal to the next, and then goalpost gets moved and they do it again, and they're running here and they're running there and they're up and down and left and right, and they're playing this play and that play, and they're running and passing, and then they just can't get anywhere. They can sure as hell never get to the touchdown in the end zone. And I see this happening all the time with visionaries, where they're in a place where they're constantly changing things in their team. Their team is now trying to integrate. You have the integrator, you have the operations person. They're trying to streamline things. And there's always going to be a little friction between those two roles, as there should be. But as the visionary, you have to understand that the best kinds of businesses are the most boring kinds of businesses. I'm gonna say this one more time. The best kinds of businesses are those that are the most boring kinds of businesses. And I don't mean like, I don't know, you build light bulbs for a living. I mean, the processes within the walls of your organization are bulletproof and implemented and tested, and there's not a lot of things that are changing on a daily basis. Changing on a yearly basis? Sure. A quarterly basis? Maybe. A daily, weekly basis? Absolutely not. They have to be able to, your team has to be able to rely on your stability. Even though you're the visionary, you're the person that's coming up with new ideas, you have to remain with some of those ideas in your head, some of those ideas on a notebook, so your team can continue executing and integrating on the things that they have already to execute and integrate on. And if you continue letting them integrate and you continue letting them build and grow and move and do the things that you asked them to do 6 months ago, and give them the freedom and the control and the ability to actually integrate your ideas into the business, that's when you start to win as the visionary. That's when you start to win as the business owner. And that's one of the ways that you can get out of the day-to-day. Okay? Now, remember, I did say that there is friction happening between the visionary and the integrator, between the innovator and the integrator. And that friction is a healthy friction. That friction should never go away. Once that friction goes away between the visionary and the integrator, or the CEO and the operator, or whatever titles you want to place on this, once that friction goes away, somebody is either being too soft or they're lying to you. And so as the visionary, you always need to be constantly pushing. You're the balloon, right? Here's the analogy. You know me, my cheesy analogies. The visionary is the balloon and the integrator is the string that holds the balloon to the ground. And if it wasn't for the integrator or the operator or whatever you want to call them, that balloon is just going to fly off into space and eventually pop and fall down to the ground. And I see it happen all the time with visionaries. So you got to have this integrator to hold your balloon. They got to be the string to your balloon. So one of the fastest ways to get out of the day-to-day is to stop innovating at a micro level. Let me make this very, very, very clear. I still know and understand and believe that you need to be innovating at a macro level. What's coming next in the market? Where are we going as a business? And you need to be consistently innovating at a macro level, but you cannot be consistently changing and everything at a micro level. Now, I'm primarily speaking to those visionaries who are at 6 figures a month plus, trying to get to 7 figures a month plus, and you feel like you're in this cycle of like, man, I just can't get out of the day-to-day. I can't get out of the minutia. I'm gonna ask you, when was the last time you tried something new? It's probably a couple days ago, probably a couple weeks ago. When was the last time you rolled something down from your brain into your team that's brand new? Probably a few weeks ago, probably a couple days ago. So continue to innovate, continue to look for new ideas, continue to practice that muscle and work that muscle, but you don't always have to share everything to the team. You don't have to share everything from your mouth to the team, especially on a micro level. And so if you're a visionary sharing micro new innovations with your team on a daily or weekly or even monthly basis, is probably one of the main reasons that you're still stuck right now, is because your team's trying to execute on everything new. Now, on the other side of this, the integrator, the COO, the operations person, whoever, they have to be really good at changing when the data tells them they need to change. Let's say you're doing a big launch and the data says, hey, this trial that we're doing on a 7-day trial just isn't converting well. And we have to change the whole offer, the whole thing, from a 7-day trial to a 0-day trial plus this free gift. And if we go from a 7-day trial to a 0-day trial plus this free gift, there's a lot of commotion, a lot of chaos. The integrator, the operator, they typically don't want to go change things. But if you're a good integrator, you know that in order to get the best result, you do have to make changes. But it doesn't need to be something new and something innovative. And so the reason I think innovation will kill integration is because the innovator, the visionary is innovating too fast and not allowing the integrator or the operations person to go in and put their vision into a plan, put their vision into an integral part of the business. I know visionaries that will literally write down what they want on the back of a napkin at a bar somewhere, and they literally expect it to be done within the next few days of their team. That's just not how business works. And so sometimes you need to give some time between the innovation and the integration to make sure that things work, but you're probably just doing it way, way, way too much. And you're probably taking and going micro innovations, making your integrator or your COO, your operations person, changing every day, every week, every month, and they don't feel like they're running towards that same goal. So if you find yourself innovating on the micro level, take a step back, get really clear on your macro goals, your macro ideas, the macro place that we're going. Give yourself an entire quarter, maybe an entire year of being integrated in the same vein, and watch how fast you as the visionary go from the day-to-day chaos, the day-to-day turmoil, to a little bit less, and then at one point realizing, like, holy cow, I am no longer in my business and I have nothing to do. It's Tuesday at noon and I have nothing to do because you've stopped innovating and you've allowed the people in your business to run and to go and to grow towards your goals. Stop innovating on the micro, continue innovating on the macro. Give the power to your team, give the control to your integrator, give the control to your operations person, and watch how fast you get to the goals that you've set if you just stay out of the day-to-day of innovating on a micro level. Now, if you're a visionary and you just don't know the data of your business, you don't understand how to troubleshoot the problems in your business, maybe you're unclear of where your business is even at, I want to give you guys something completely for free for being a listener of this channel or a listener to the podcast. And if you go to visionforvisionaries.com, I have built out an entire dashboard for you where it plugs into all of your data sheets, all of your software that you use. It integrates in less than 5 minutes. And you as the visionary can have a fully built operational dashboard where you can see all of your numbers, all of your data, all of your issues immediately without having to look at 37 different spreadsheets. And so if you want to know how to troubleshoot your business instantly, go to visionforvisionaries.com, download that free dashboard, completely free, it's yours. Download the dashboard, get into understanding exactly how you can look at your business at a high level and be able to see the numbers without having to worry about anything. Stop making decisions based on emotion and start making decisions based on data. Visionforvisionaries.com. Grab your free dashboard and I will see you guys in the next episode. See ya.